Welcome to Jennifer Parsley Wellness. I'm Jennifer Parsley. Today I am following up on last week's video all about healthy plant-based meals pre-packaged that are fairly low cost, mostly organic, and can be assembled in 45 seconds for the smoothies, 10 minutes for any of the other bowls. They are LeafSide meals. They look like this. They come freeze-dried with all whole food ingredients, mostly organic, like I said. The website is goleafside.com. I'll link it down below. I am not affiliated with them. I'm just super excited to have found healthy whole food plant-based meals that are even approved and sort of promoted by Dr. Greger. He's not part of the company, but Dr. Michael Greger, who's written a lot of wonderful books, How Not to Die, How Not to Diet, How Not to Age. He's one of my favorite plant-based doctors. He's on some of the ads for these prepackaged meals, and you can find out information about getting your daily dozen of certain plant foods, which follows his program. That's on their website as well. So last week I did an unboxing video where I showed you my order of one of everything. They have savory bowls, soups, sweet bowls, and smoothies. The savory bowls, soups, and sweet bowls are all assembled by adding boiling water from a kettle. You can even see my kettle over here. We have a big, oh my gosh, why does my voice always go crazy when I start a video? We have a big electric tea kettle, but you can just boil water on the stove. You pour them into a bowl, and I'll show you. Let me grab the bowls I've been using to make these in. So I just take a big bowl. We have these kind of crate and barrel bowls, and I pour my these examples I pulled out today are ones that I'm going to try next. Pesto and peppers pasta bowl. Pour that in there, and it says right on it how much water. This particular one cup of boiling water. And then I just take a side plate and sit it on top. That's how I make these. You'll see it when in the video clips where I'm actually making meals and showing you how those turned out this past week. I'm going to also be making kale crush smoothies soon because I want to try one of the really green, full of greens smoothies. But in these video clips from what we have made, you're going to see a Tex Mex bowl, a raspberry, was it raspberry? I think raspberry cacao smoothie, a black bean and smoky tomato soup, and a Goji Peach sweet bowl. So a good combination of each of the types of these meals and different flavor combinations. And because I'm usually cooking for me and my husband, and we are like to save money like most people do, I also cook some basic ingredients so that we could just split one of these. These are only $10 a piece, which I think is super reasonable. And if you are on the monthly subscription for them, you get a 10% discount as well, which makes them only $9 a piece. And when you split it between two people, you're talking $5 or less for a healthy whole food plant-based meal. I'm not going to go on and on about them because I did that last week if you want to hear all about it. And you can go to their website to read all about it as well. This is about how were they, how did we enjoy them, how did I put them together. So I did cook some sweet potatoes just because I had a ton of sweet potatoes. Somehow this little guy didn't make it to the tray. I was looking at our little bowl of veggies and I'm like, how did I end up with one sweet potato? I thought I cooked them all. So I take sweet potatoes, I cut them and scrub them, cut them in half lengthwise, put them down on a parchment lined tray. I bake them at 400 degrees for about an hour. I had a whole bag of sweet potato, and then I made the Tex Mex savory bowl, loaded that on top of our sweet potato, and put a little bit of tofu based onion dip and chopped fresh cilantro. Made 2 big meals. The seasonings were delicious. I do think the LeafSide seasonings are delicious because Dr. Greger shares so much information about how beneficial spices are, especially certain ones like black mustard seeds, black pepper, cumin, black cumin, you know, each of these in all of his books and on his website, nutritionfacts.org, which I will link down below as well. He talks about all the health benefits for longevity, for preventing and reversing disease. And these are the types of things that I use in my practice. I help people learn all about, and that's what this channel is about: natural health, natural healing, prevent and reverse disease, avoid, reduce, or eliminate medications. And I do it all with the power of a plant-based diet, along with combined with fasting. If you are interested, I have a free guide called The Fast Track to Health, which is linked down below, which gives you all of the information on the benefits and how to get started, recipes, meal plans, all of that, of pulling together the power of intermittent fasting and a healthy plant-based diet. The Fast Track to Health. Like, it's just can prevent and reverse disease, get the weight off, get your energy back, all sorts of awesome things when you combine those two things. That is what I have found for myself, for my family, and with my practice with my clients. So we did the Tex Mex on the sweet potatoes, and that night we made one of the smoothies for dessert, that cacao raspberry smoothie, and we just split it. We just had the, oh no, Simon was bike riding that night, so I drank the whole smoothie. And these are about 500 calories a piece, and so when we split it, about 250 calories, but then I add in the extra, bulk it up with starches, which I'll tell you about some of the other meals. And so it's about 500 calories a piece for a meal. And then I had the smoothie as well. And so, but I was fasting all day that day. And so that was about 1,000 calories, maybe 1,000, 1,200. But I am trying to lose some weight. Just kind of I'm normal BMI, but I want to bring it down a little bit. Still healthy BMI, just lose 10, 20 pounds is what I'm trying to do. So it's awesome that these are also portion and calorie controlled. The other examples that I show in the video are the black bean and smoky tomato soup, which we served over some beans and rice that I already had made in the pressure cooker, and I had a bunch of leftover beans and rice. So I put that black bean and tomato soup on, and what did we add to that? A little bit of that onion dip and some chips with that. And that day we split one of the sweet bowls for a dessert. We had the Goji Peach Sweet Bowl, which has like oats in it. It's like a fruity, delicious bowl, but still healthy. There's no sugar in these things. They've got a little bit of fruit, dates. And so we split that fruity bowl, kind of like a warm cobbler. It was nice, and it was not overpoweringly sweet. And then the other meal that we made this past week was I used the mint chip smoothie. I blended that up one night when I didn't have any healthy plant-based desserts made. I'm like, well, you want to split a smoothie? We did the mint chip. I poured it into 2 little bowls, and I topped it with some toasted oats and cacao nibs. Each of us had that, and that was a nice little healthy dessert from LeafSide as well. So that's what I've tried so far. I'll keep putting these on social media. I've got some pictures up that'll be coming up on Instagram, Facebook, Jennifer Parsley Wellness. There's a Facebook group, Jennifer Parsley Wellness. My stuff's pretty easy to find. It's all the same name. And the links to all of that are down below as well. So we're gonna go into videos of actually assembling, making these from boiling the water, how simple it is, how I prepared them. I'm going to show you how I did those this past week, and I hope you enjoy our look at using LeafSide meals. I'm definitely signed up for the subscription. I am going to get through my stash of the 23 meals in about a month, which saves me time when I'm super busy. I just have to boil water and maybe have a couple extra things to stretch these, like rice, or like when I make this pesto and peppers pasta bowl, I will probably cook a little bit of extra pasta and then that way split it between me and Simon again, because the seasonings are super good. I'm sure the saucy bit will be good, and then just throw in some extra pasta. We'll stretch it between the two of us, or who knows, if we have separate schedules, I might just have it as is myself on some nights, but I'll keep you updated and share more pictures. So enjoy these videos of what I made this week. I'm assembling my first LeafSide meal. I just boiled our kettle full of water. We have a big electric tea kettle. I measured out 1.5 cups of boiling water. I cooked some sweet potatoes. I'm going to split this meal, the Tex Mex bowl, and serve it over sweet potatoes for both me and Simon. And I also have a big pot of brown rice here. That's for some other leftovers that we have. But when you see me preparing these meals in the future, that's another way I'll probably stretch some of these meals. They've got like some curries and Thai things, and I may serve with a bunch of brown rice to split them between me and Simon. So here I come. Got my boiling water. We are making Tex Mex savory bowl. And it just says empty into a large bowl, at least 1 quart, add 1.5 cups boiling water, stir well, cover for 10 minutes, and then your healthy plant-based meal is ready to go. And I'm just gonna be covering this with a little side plate. That's my system. I didn't buy one of their special bowls. I'm just putting it into a big bowl and topping it with a plate. So here we go. Adding 1.5 cups of boiling water. I'm going to give this a good stir, cover it for 10 minutes, and come back and show you what that looks like, and then split it over some sweet potatoes. And I will be having a full cacao cherry smoothie for dessert today. So half of this plus sweet potato plus that will be somewhere in the range of 1,000 to 1,200 calories for my one big meal a day feast. This is what the Tex-Mex bowl looks like after it's dehydrated. It smells delicious. All sorts of spices, greens, black beans, wonderful, healthy, plant-based ingredients, no oil, no additives. I'm going to take this and put it on top of baked sweet potato. My sweet potatoes, I just slice in half, put face down on a tray, 1 hour, 400 degrees. And then they're all soft and delicious. I'm gonna top with that Tex-Mex chili kind of savory bowl. Tex-Mex sweet potatoes. These are gonna go back in the oven. Simon's going cycling tonight, and I've got a client in a couple minutes. So he's gonna grab his out of the oven, and I'll grab mine out of the warm oven after my client. And I may top mine with a little tofu-based onion dip, fresh cilantro, and maybe some hot sauce. We'll see how that goes. And then I'm gonna make my cacao cherry smoothie for my dessert tonight. This is my final dinner. Tex-Mex topped sweet potato with some tofu-based onion dip, and I did chop up a little fresh cilantro. It's looking, it was been in the warm oven for an hour during my client session, but it still looks tasty and it smells delicious. Looking forward to this dinner. For my dessert smoothie, I've added 2 cups of filtered water straight to my blender pitcher. I just used the little measurements on the side of that, some filtered water from the fridge. And I'm dumping in this smoothie mix because these are freeze-dried, dehydrated things. I'm gonna dump this in while I'm having my Tex-Mex sweet potato so that it softens up a bit, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of ice and have my big smoothie for dessert, since this is my one meal a day, and I'll show you the final smoothie. Here is my cacao cherry smoothie for dessert. It makes a big, huge glass full, and there's a little bit extra in the blender, so I'm gonna have that for my dessert for my one big meal today. And I had a quick little taste, and it's whole food, so it's not super sweet, but delicious. And the Tex-Mex sweet potatoes were very filling and delicious, and I'll fill y'all in on how filling this was. I'm using the word fill a lot. Just kind of my experience with how this was, and especially using it with a lot of fasting. But I'm looking forward to my smoothie for dessert. Tonight, we are making the black bean and chunky tomato soup. I've got it poured into a bowl here. I've got 2 cups of boiling kettle water that I'm gonna pour in here. This one's a soup, so it's 2 cups of boiling water. I'm gonna give that a good stir, cover it. I've just been putting it into a big bowl that we have and covering with a side plate and let that sit for 10 minutes, and then we're gonna top. I actually have in the oven, let me show you, some extra rice and beans and soy curls for myself. I had lots of extra seasoned rice and beans, so then I'm gonna split this soup, add it to the rice and beans, and have like a thicker, like a stew, top with a little red cabbage, cilantro, tofu-based onion dip, baked tortilla chips. Both of these recipes are on the Jennifer Parsley Wellness YouTube channel, and a little bit of hot sauce. And then we're gonna make this Goji Peach Paradise sweet bowl, which is one of the hot, warm oat bowls, kind of like a cobbler, and split that for dessert. I'll also show you what that looks like, but I'm gonna get this going. You gotta cover it in the boiling water for 10 minutes, and then it's ready to use for dinner. So excited about using my Dr. Greger approved LeafSide meals. It makes dinner a lot easier. Okay, here's our 2 dinners from that 1 packet of black bean and smoky tomato soup. I added it to extra beans and rice and soy curls, and I'm gonna crunch some tortilla chips and that onion dip, and we've got our toppings on here, so 2 nice sized dinners. Sharing that packet with some little extra beans and rice on hand, and then I'll show you dessert in a bit, friends. Here is our first sweet bowl from LeafSide that we're gonna share for dessert. I just put it in the big bowl. I'm gonna cover it with the plate, side plate, to let it steep for 10 minutes. I added 1.5 cups of boiling water. That's what goes into this Goji Peach Paradise. I'm gonna let it sit for 10 minutes, and we're just gonna split that for a healthy sweet dessert. It's got oats and quinoa in it, and tons of fruit and spices and seasonings. 10 minutes later, and here's our Goji Peach sweet bowls for dessert. Nice and warm and fruity. I had just a little taste of it, licked the spoon from the bowl that I heated it up in, and it seems very tasty but not overly sweet. And the black bean and tomato soup with extra rice and beans was really good and really filling. So when I split each of these, each is about 500 calories, but when I split, it's only about 250 calories each. So between those 2 bags of LeafSide meals, each of us got about 500 calories, and I fasted all day, so all the extra rice and beans and toppings still has probably only got me in about 1,000 calorie range, which is cool because I'm trying to lose some weight. We're going to go enjoy our first sweet bowl for dessert. I hope you enjoyed today's video sharing how I'm using the LeafSide healthy plant-based meals. If you like these types of videos about natural health, natural healing, plant-based eating, preventing and reversing disease with diet, if you like these types of videos, what my channel is all about, feel free to give a thumbs up, subscribe down below. If you have any questions about these meals, or if you've already tried them or you're considering trying them, or have questions about the preparation or anything like that, feel free to comment down below. I'm happy to answer any questions, and I'll see you next week, friends.